Ben Gumpert's in the beginning of his prime, just the beginning of his prime. Stanford educated, has worked on the highest levels of the NBA, and now he is the head honcho, the president of the Sacramento Republic Football Club, who debut their season, can you believe it, tomorrow against the hated Real Monarchs of Salt Lake City, Papa Murphy's Park. That match starts at 7:30. And joining us right now to talk about the new season, Ben Gumpert. Good morning, Ben. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Still trying to reach my prime. I know I'll get there someday.
Listen, you're getting there, by the way. Hey, Ben, I hope you know what I'm referring to. This is totally not going to be awkward if you say no, by the way. Can I ask you about something that you posted on Facebook a couple days ago that was highly personal, but I thought a very, very cool story involving your dad? And if you say no, that's fine. It'll just be awkward for like 10 seconds.
Right, only for 10? Of course. Happy to chat about that.
Would you mind saying your dad is an amazing story, and your dad decided to spend his evening doing a very amazing thing, and I saw the picture of you and he together, and it warmed my heart. Fill in the audience. What was he doing, and how cool was this?
Yeah, so it's my dad's birthday, Frank, and we've always been close and continue to be close. And he's got his own little idiosyncrasies, as many of us do. And at times when I was growing up, they were embarrassing, but I've come to realize how special they are. So for his birthday, which was just on Tuesday, he didn't want to party. He didn't want us even to come over and bring dinner. All he wanted to do was hang out at his favorite shop, the frozen yogurt shop down the street, and buy yogurt for everybody that came in for the entire day. And of course, what he did with that is, he left out 2 donation boxes, one for a school in Rwanda, actually, that's associated with my kid's school, and another on a board he's in. He said, if you want to drop in the dollars you'd be spending on your vanilla and chocolate chips, then drop it in here for a good cause. And the parking lot was packed. I went in there a couple times throughout the day. I mean, literally hundreds of people in this really tiny shop. And he had a smile on his face the whole day. This is exactly what he wanted, and he had a vision for it that was certainly smarter than anything I've done, and it was just neat to see.
It warms my heart to hear that, and I'm not going to lie. It troubles me just a tad to know that I will never be as good a person as him. Ever. No chance.
We'll try living in his shadow.
Right. That's a pretty big shadow to live up to.
No, but that's his birthday. But the next week it'll be something else.
Right.
But it's just so great to see him interact with everybody and kids of all ages and adults and everyone. This is what he lives for. So it's nice to see.
Not hard to see why he produced such a good kid, and that kid's soccer team, football team, if you're in Europe, starts the season tomorrow. And man, I'm sure it wasn't this way to the players. Maybe it was, but boy, it seems like it was a boom off season. And now we go into this season versus the Real Monarchs. And just give us the headlines here. What are we looking for tomorrow? How's the ball club?
Oh, we're rearing to go. We got new field, new kits, some new players. New things at the stadium going on, a new tailgate opportunity for fans, which they have been super jazzed about. It's just great to have soccer back in action. I know the player, I saw a couple of them yesterday, and they're chomping at the bit to get out in front of the home crowd. Those that have been here in the past are super excited. Those that haven't, they've heard stories from the other players about how this experience in Sacramento is different than everywhere else. So they're jazzed about seeing what it's all about in front of everybody tomorrow night.
Anything new, interesting, exciting? There's always stuff going on. You guys are always innovating. You're always not just on the roster, not just with the coaches, none of that, but also around Papa Murphy's Park as well. So what are we looking forward to this season other than some good soccer?
Always some good soccer, but we got a new pitch, so that should be good. Field for you, Dave.
Yeah,
you can call it either way. We have a tailgate party. I swear, since I've been at the organization in the last 2 years, that's one comment I get all the time. It's like, hey Ben, can we tailgate? Can we tailgate? I get stopped in the grocery store with my kids, maybe even in the frozen yogurt shop with my dad. Hey, what's going on with tailgate? And was able to work on the off season with our partners at Cal Expo and Ovation to own the stadium, and they said, all right, like let's give it a go. So we're super excited that the fans can come out early, bring beers, bring sandwiches, bring whatever they want, hang out, and be ready to go come kickoff. We're going to have a new kid zone that's going to start the next match, actually, on March 24th. That'll give a field for kids to play in. We got some new craft beers. We got some new areas. So it's always fun to be able to invest in the stadium, make sure that we're building on the fan experience and doing the best we can.
You set me up beautifully for this. When you got stopped in the grocery store and asked about tailgating, I'm betting that it was Rayleigh's. And then, boom, look at that. You were perfect. You moved it around, and Rayleigh's the sponsor of the Sacramento Republic tailgate. I see that right in front of me on the release. Fantastic partner, and now you can go there and you can now is there anything I need to know? Can I just roll in and I know you got to get the little tailgate pass, and there's all kinds of info at sacrepublicfc.com about that. Just go to sacrepublicfc.com/tailgating. But I can just roll there with my little grill and cook up some hot dogs or bring some potato salad, hang out with my friends, and then roll on into the match.
That's exactly right.
Love
yeah, we got some standard safety, no open flames. Let's keep off the glass, and a few other things, but plenty to do. I'll be out there hanging out for a bit, and it's fun. It's just fun to have soccer back, and can't wait for tomorrow night.
Ben Gumpert with us, and I promise you this will be my last thing on that, but you've looked at me. You know I love food. Do you have a favorite tailgate item?
Ooh, great question.
Thank you.
Right. This is hard-hitting journalism here. Well, I think there's always the standard. If you have a nice, in my case, chicken sausage.
Yes.
Spread. But it's not just the mustard for me. Like, you got to go. I'm gourmet. A little chopped onions,
okay,
a little relish, maybe even some diced tomatoes.
Okay.
Just to flavor it up a little bit.
Almost like a Chicago dog, a little bit.
Some different aiolis. You don't want to get too fancy because you got to remember where you are, but it's good. So that's going to be my standard. But I'm excited to see what fans bring. Everyone's got their own style. You got to celebrate it. You got to lean into it, and we'll see what the people bring.
So it's funny. You wear these two masks in your position. You've done a great job at balancing the tightrope. The first mask is, of course, the one we're seeing right now. It is the Ben Gumpert, president of the Sacramento Republic USL squad, and you have an exciting season coming up. You've got a great season ticket base, fans that are unparalleled, and you're trying to grab that big trophy once more. The other face, or mask, I should say, is Ben Gumpert, president of the Sacramento Republic USL Club, which is trying and has been trying so very hard to ascend to Major League Soccer. And since you last came on these airwaves, there was huge news as Ron Burkle joined the Republic in the investment group. That's huge news. That's something obviously you guys have been working on forever. Some fans will recall me tweeting out, and a lot of people seeing picture of Ben and Kevin and Ron at a Kings game. As a matter of fact, we're going to Phoenix spring training next week. It was when I was at spring training last year that you guys were all at a Kings game, and there was a lot of buzz and everybody was a flutter. I can't let you off the phone without asking you, where are we at with MLS and how are you feeling?
I feel great, and better than I ever have. As you mentioned, Ron Burkle has been fantastic, and we're excited to announce him about 6 weeks ago now. But certainly, every day before then and every day since then, we've continued to work with the league. Had a trip to New York with the commissioner, which was very successful, and continued our conversation there. Been working with Mayor Steinberg and the city council, working on the land deal. So there's a lot of T's to cross, but we are certainly in the final stages of this, and closing up everything that MLS has asked of us. Kevin Nagel, as you know, who I know has been on the show recently, has continued to push at every level where we can, and super thankful for him to have brought us to this stage. So I feel great. I know our fans, that's of course besides the grocery store question that I get on tailgating, this is, of course, the other one, maybe even a little bit more, as it should,
Yes.
because this is a massive, massive opportunity, not just for our club or our fan base, but for our city and our region. I know you wear the Sacramento flag as proudly and as strongly as anyone. But I know it, and we know it as well. There are very rare opportunities where you can, in one fell swoop, raise the profile of a city like we can with a major professional sports team with MLS. And it's been a long road, and I know there's been some frustrations and ups and downs along the journey. And we're not right at the finish line just yet, but we are darn close. And feel great about some updates coming in the next few weeks.
Ben Gumpert with us, and if you'd indulge me on that subject real quick, because I think it's important every once in a while. There are people listening to the show right now that maybe aren't the biggest soccer fans. Maybe they've tried it, don't like it. Maybe they haven't tried it, and they're looking forward to get out to a game. Maybe they don't completely understand. Well, okay, MLS, great. I'm not the biggest soccer guy. I think it's very important to every once in a while replug into this way of thinking. And Ben, I'm going to ask you to indulge me and just role play for a second. And we, of course, always love role playing with each other. Here's the deal. I am Don Garber. You are Ben Gumpert. I won't put a timeline on it. Let's say a week, a month, whenever it is. I announce as Don Garber, we are happy to bring in the Sacramento Republic as our newest MLS team. Yeehaw, everyone's happy, blah, blah, blah. I know there's some specifics you can't get into and some things that could change, but would you just mind walking us through the steps from the time that we, knock on wood, get named till stepping on the pitch, some of the awesome things that will then be fired like the slingshot pulled back right now that are going to happen in this city as far as construction and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, we're in ready position, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Sure.
But to indulge you, as I tend to do from time to time. Yeah, and again, in truth, thanks to Kevin Nagel and our partnership, who has continued to make the site construction ready. So that announcement happens, we are ready to go. As you guys have seen the renderings, we actually have some updates as we've been working with our architects to make some tweaks that really enhance the fan experience even further. But we're ready to go. So that announcement happens. We are running. There are shovels in the ground, and we are building that stadium. And because of that, we can do it faster than anyone else and be ready within a couple of years. Of course, with that, in addition, we have some land surrounding the stadium that we want to develop. Certainly, we've seen the success of the Kings Arena and Doco and how important the surrounding development is to the overall experience. So we have that we're going to continue to work on. As you also know, it's not just about soccer.
Right.
We are going to have, there's nothing like the Republic Games. We're going to have U.S. women's and men's national team games, but we're going to have concerts and rugby and lacrosse and football and farmers markets and other events on that stadium. So that planning continues to be ready. So it happens quick. And again, there's a rare opportunity to do it, and we're ready. We're ready to go. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We're going to follow the process and get to the finish line the right way. But that's in a way that's just the beginning, because then there's it's a start line for something else, and that part's going to be thrilling for everyone involved.
And am I off base, too, just to kind of stretch it? Not that you just didn't give us enough awesome stuff that's going to happen in this city. And that's, I'm a sucker for soccer, and I love it. And I love this club since day one. But as you said, that Sacramento flag wave strong, and just seeing the continued development that, again, knock on wood, could happen. Just floors me. All the things you mentioned, plus outdoor concerts and all those events beyond soccer. But then also, I remember there was some conversation about, hey, it's a natural thing to think that a couple of years after that, an MLS All-Star game, that Sacramento could host that, which would bring tens of millions of dollars. And then even stretching it further, and you don't need to comment on this, but a lot of people in this town have long wanted an NBA All-Star game as well. Don't realize that having a separate stadium and all that space there as well would do nothing but bolster that bid. So it's almost like the The sky's the limit, Ben, not just having top flight soccer in this town, but also the continued development of this area, as I think you've said many times, and I love the line, the front door of our city, the front yard, if you will, of our city, to see that developed and turned into something so beautiful. Man, it just makes me rub my hands together. I pray every day that we get there.
No, I mean the city that our kids could live in
Yep.
in 5, 10, or 30 years certainly is a whole different shape, and certainly it's a different shape than when you and I grew up and were on the mean streets of Rio Americano High School.
That's right.
But this is not the time to stop. There's so much more to do. To your point, this is far bigger than soccer. There's so many other events. This could bring all-star games. This could bring massive concert festivals. This could help to bring next big corporate headquarters, which I know has been a big push for many in the city, and rightly so. To have a city like Sacramento, to have an NBA team and an MLS team, right? The two growth leagues, the two leagues that really lean on broad diversity and excitement. You couldn't have picked a better fit. So it's neat to see. It's crazy, when you take a step back and see what's in front of us, and now we have to get after it and make sure it happens.
Fast forward this part of the documentary, maybe 2-3 decades, and Ben Gumpert and Carmichael Dave with their children, who are right around the same age, or Ben and Dave are doddering around the now developed rail yards in that whole area with our children. And you know what, Ben, you and I both know this. We can take solace in the fact that our kids are going to grow up in a better, brighter Sacramento than we grew up in. But also, I think you know this deep down, too. They're really not going to – they're going to take it. They'll be like, this was always here, right? It wasn't a big deal. That arena, that stadium, the soccer team, what? I don't get it. What's the big deal, Daddy? It's going to happen.
Right. How do we keep them humble? How do we keep them grateful? That's right. The work day in, day out. Just for having a kid, having my daughters in sports, I know you're in the arena as well, literally and figuratively. Man, they're spoiled. Yep. I think I was at a game just a couple years ago, and we were sitting in the upper deck for baseball. My daughter asked, when are we going down to the field? When are we going to the field?
Right.
Come on, you guys. I used to go to 5 games a year and loved sitting in the nosebleeds, and that was what I got. And now they expect to be on the field or the court every time. But gotta love them. We'll do our best to keep them humble. But it's neat to see. It's neat to see it through their eyes as well.
Brother, you're speaking to my heart. The first time I ever went to an event other than a Kings game at Arco Arena, I won tickets that I called in during my paper route to what was then FM 102. I won tickets to go see Tony Lopez versus John Molina, and I swear to God the tickets were like section 218, row ZZZ, and I went with my dad, and I was a pig in you-know-what. I was over the moon. My daughter and her little class band played the national anthem at the game on Monday, the Knicks-Kings game. I was a nervous daddy. I got the wife and son and daughter seats to go there, and the deal was Avery was going to spend the first half with her class, and they were in, I think, section 218, middle row.
Sure.
And we had lower-level seats. She texts me, because, of course, she has a cell phone at 11, not spoiled. She texts me before the game, says, Daddy, Daddy, can I come sit with you guys? I can't see very well. And I just sat there, and Ben, a big part of me wanted to leave her up there for the whole game, and I probably should have.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Spoiled kids, man.
It's all right,
Tomorrow.
Yeah, but tomorrow night.
Yep.
See you there. See everyone there. It's gonna be fun. And season starts, and we're off to the races. But our guys are gonna give it their all. Had a great preseason. But nothing is like being in front of the home crowd with a game that counts. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Todd Dunovit's put together a tremendous roster. Now another year under his belt. Simon Elliott once again leading the charge in your Sacramento Republic in their quest for another title take on the Real Monarchs SLC. Do not want to miss this season. That's going to start at 7:30. I think there's a handful of tickets, I believe, still available. Not many at sacrepublicfc.com. Get out there. And as always, Ben, always love it when you join us. Appreciate everything you and Mr. Nagel and now Mr. Burkle and everybody else are trying to do for the city. And we'll talk to you throughout the year, buddy.
Absolutely. Much appreciated, man.
All right.
I'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Take care. That is Ben Gumpert.
You're listening to The Drive.